back to GPH Podcast, where we dive deep into topics of our everyday lives. As always, I am your host, Manny. Some of you know me as JR. My social media follower is J underscore Addict. And today we're going to be going into a topic, the power of mirroring. And I like this topic. It's psychology and it's a lot about communication. Today we have with us two guests. I'm honored to say I'm a partner to these two guests. The first guest that we're going to be doing the podcast with, his name is Carlos from CMR Podcast. Carlos is the visionary behind CMR Podcast Network, right? He's a leader in empowerment and transformation. He's a coach, mentor, entrepreneur dedicated to creating leaders who empower others. Drawn from his experience, and we're going to talk about the experiences we have on and off the basketball court, coming from urban areas and things of that nature. We play basketball like every day, right?
Yes, we do.
So
even though we don't play together, I play every day. Even though
those
we do
one-on-ones, we play versus each other sometimes.
You make me better.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the power of mirroring. This is a topic that actually Carlos introduced to me not too long ago. Like he dropped that seed, and I found it intriguing that to communicate sometimes, if we use this technique, mirroring, it will show you what the other person is, because literally it's like putting a mirror in front of them, right? So
reflecting what they
exactly. So Carlos, you emphasize the concept of mirroring as a crucial and engaging with when engaging with individuals, especially those like from the streets. Can you explain what mirroring means to you and why it's so powerful in building trust and respect?
Okay, mirroring to me is priceless when it comes to dealing with people. Because the thing is, you see how there's the street, but also there's the professional side.
Yes.
Right? Obviously, when you're dealing with the street, you cannot come with your professional side because they don't understand that. They'll look at you like they'll bully you type of thing. You got me? Because you're not one of them. Look at it like for example, let's say, God forbid, we're in prison. Mm-hmm. We got to adapt to their rules.
Absolutely.
Right? We got to speak their language. Right? So we'll have to learn the prison language, signs, things like that. So it's the same thing. You got me? Like, look at it like if I go to Dominican Republic, you ever heard that song? Manga tu caminar pa que no te atraquen. If you go to the hood, if you go to the hood in Dominican Republic.
But I understand what you just said, though. It's deep.
And they see you as one of them. They'll respect you.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense? Mm-hmm. But if they don't see that you're one of them and you come that like you're the fucking, you know what I mean? They're going to treat you different. That's why you have to, especially when you play basketball. A lot of people that play basketball are normally African Americans. So you got to speak their slang. What's up, my nigga? Same thing, you got me? You got to speak their language. Because if not, they'll think you're not one of them. And they basically could sense one little hair that you're not one of them, they'll bully you.
There's some difference.
They'll bully you. They'll crush you. You got me? Remember, when you're dealing with lions, you got to be a lion. If not, they'll treat you like a little cat.
Okay. And as a mentor on the basketball court, and dealing with these people with street mentality, how do you use mirroring to connect with them and inspire a better future?
Okay, for example, the minute they already see me as one of them, right? People normally do business, let's say in the business side, with people that like, know, and trust. Now in the basketball, you're going to basically be able to connect deeper with them when they see that you basically also, in the game, you mark your respect. By how you mark your respect. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. By obviously delivering your numbers.
Yeah.
You got me? By performing the game at their level or higher. Or at least giving them the respect, praising them, when they do something good. Like
you're
anybody.
big on that. You're big on that.
Yeah, like you got to praise someone. You got me? That way they can know that you're not a hater. You got. But if they try to basically belittle you, that's why there's a book by Gary Vee. Jab, 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 right hook. Jab, 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 right hook is give, right? So you can have leverage. So when you hook them, they don't have nothing to tell you. That's when it comes to the street ball. In the business, give value, create value for others. Give more than what you're getting back, right? So when they come with some BS, they would even come with some BS. You
Okay.
have enough leverage to win the battle, to win the deal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when dealing with the streets and beyond, right? So let's take it to the streets now. And we play basketball in the streets. We come from urban areas. You always mention respect all and fear none as a foundation when engaging in the streets. How do you balance that with the need to empower and not tolerate bullying?
Okay, the minute freedom from fear is one of the steps to riches. Number
Freedom from
four,
fear.
yes. Number one is positive mental attitude,
Okay.
right? Then sound health, right? So freedom from fear, freedom from fear is one of the steps to riches. Even in the professional side, you will not make it if you're not basically free from fear. So you got to face everything and rise. So when we're here playing basketball, you have to give people respect. That's where the positive mental attitude comes. You have to treat everybody like they're the most important person in the world, because they
Absolutely.
are, right? And the minute you give them that respect, first of all, you shake their hand. Even the way you shake people's hand, you're transmitting energy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Right? You got a firm handshake.
Yeah.
You got me? And look at them in the eye. And when you see them, you give them that vibe, because you remember the eyes are the windows to our soul. So fear can be seen from the eye. Facts or no? You can see a man and you can know if that man fears.
Body language has a lot.
Body language, yeah.
Yes.
So that's where alignment comes. We gotta have the thoughts aligned with what we say and what we do. I cannot say respect all, fear none, and then inside of me, I'm like, shit, there's 20 of these niggas. I'm scared.
That's
you
a
get
fact.
me?
That's a fact.
Nah, I'm willing to fucking fight the 20 of them.
Yeah.
But remember, the minute you win all the others and you win the most influential ones there, you already bought everybody.
Everybody falls in line.
Make sense?
Absolutely. And
throw me in the pack, I'll end up leading the pack. And it's not that I want to lead the pack. It's just when you develop your character, that's one of the benefits of developing your character.
That's big. And what character you influence, and it's how you say, if you get the ones that influence the others, they just all fall in line. Absolutely. Can you share an example of mirroring, of how it's helped you change other people's lives, whether it be on a basketball court, in the streets, or even like I could share my experience on the podcasting, but can you share an experience, like something specific?
Okay, I'll give you an example. The minute I basically mirror the people in the basketball court, right? Okay. I'm able to basically get to their level, right? But just because I got to their level doesn't mean I'm gonna lower my standard.
Or to another point, it doesn't mean, because I don't want people to get confused. It's not that we're better than anyone or that anyone is better than us, but there's people that live to a certain standard of life.
Yes. So yes, that's the thing. Yeah. Excellent point that you brought in. Because the thing is, it's not that I think I'm better than other people, but why would I lower my standards?
Yes.
You get me? To their level. I do understand them, but they don't understand me. And they think it's vice versa. Remember, the more maturity is you understanding other. You put yourself in other people's shoes. Just because I have my daughters, that doesn't mean that I don't understand them when they bring some BS to the table. I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Right? But just because I'm friends with them, that doesn't mean I'm going to accept their BS. But I'm willing to basically, it's not that I accept their BS, but I'm willing to understand them, where they're at. I understand they haven't done the inner work. Remember, your external world is a reflection of your inner world. So since I understand they haven't done the inner work, I have to basically meet them where they're at, but shock them and bring them to my level.
And what conversation will you start to mirror that, to see what level they're at?
First of all, you will never see me argue with a stranger. For me to even speak to a person and give them 2-3 words is because I already shook that person's hand and basically asked them what's their name and gave.
You're good at that. You remember a lot of people's name, bro.
It makes sense?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, because of business. Remember, I'm networking. Your network is your net worth. Just because I'm playing basketball, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop networking.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know who's who in the court. There's a lot of also people that they're business people that love basketball. And believe it or not, there's a lot of money in basketball. And I love basketball because it reveals people's character. And that's the mirroring. That's everything. Yeah. It reveals people's character overall. Basketball reveals who has integrity, who doesn't have integrity. It reveals who has respect, who doesn't have respect. It reveals who's a bully or who's not a bully. You got me?
And it's because there's highs and lows in the game. There's times where you're under pressure in the game. There's times where you win. There's times where you lose. And there's times where you have to share. There's times that, and you're big on giving. I give that to you.
I'm big on giving, but I
don't
also
agree
say
with
it. But I'll say it also. I'm also selfish. You have to have a balance
Yeah.
between giving and taking, if it makes sense.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people they don't have that balance. Sometimes they're too much of a giver, but then that's where mirroring. Then you'll basically attract takers, and those takers take advantage of you.
Yeah.
You give them the hand, they take you the whole. You give them your hand, they take your whole arm. Next thing you know, they took your whole body. That's why if once people already know, you got me, that you respect them, but you don't fear them, that means, okay, I'll give you, but that doesn't mean that you're going to take the whole thing. Make sense or no?
Yeah.
So it's
a give and take world.
Yeah, give and take. Like you got to know, think win-win.
But balance.
Balance.
Yes.
There's a book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And one of the habits is, think win-win. You got me? But when I think, I don't just think win-win. I think let the other person get more than what I'm getting. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think I could say like sometimes we always play together like when it comes to like 5-on-5s and stuff like that. And you're big on like, let's pick up somebody that somebody else won't pick up. Like you're very big on giving to that person that opportunity.
The benefit of the doubt, yeah.
And not for nothing, it's like a beneficial thing. You're helping them with their confidence, you're helping them with their game. And we're creating an environment of like, it's still competitive, but there's, how do I say? It's a safe environment, I would say.
See, good point that you brought on. Because I'd rather play with a stranger at first, like just to get to meet them. You got me? And that stranger, I want to feed him.
Yeah, you always do that.
I've
noticed that of you.
You got me? So I can measure him because I want to fail forward fast with the person. When you get to meet a person, especially somebody new, you want them to reveal who they are fast. Vomit.
That's a fact.
Vomit. You got me? That's why you got to mirror. So you approach them from a praise. How to win friends and influence people.
Okay.
You got me? You win them over. The minute you win them over, bro, like the 48 Laws of Power. Have you read that book?
I read some of it.
Robert Greene.
Okay.
I highly recommend that book.
Okay.
And mirroring, before you ask me the next question,
go ahead.
Is good also with women in the personal level.
It's gonna reveal something.
No, because for example, let's say you're trying to seduce a woman, but she's, not giving you that mirroring, that energy.
Okay.
That's seduction of energy. You got to back up. You got me?
Yeah.
And then you try back again a little later.
Give, take.
You got me?
Give, take,
well,
give, take.
Some guys, power versus force. They want to force it. Now, you understand?
Yeah.
Life, everything is power versus force. You could either know how to use your power or you force it. What do you think most people do?
People try to force, bro.
People try to force things.
But if you know the power that you have, you will let it come to you. Yeah.
What was the page from this book?
90, you said, I think, no?
Oh, yeah. 90. See, you got excellent memory. Map of consciousness. If you could see, you want to break it down for them?
Okay.
Well,
so
just to bring, because that book goes with the power of mirroring. You got me?
Yeah.
So if you could mirror people based on those levels, and the same thing with this book, surrounded by idiots. You got me?
So in this book, just to share with you guys, so there's different views for consciousness, right? And I'm just eyeballing it because I never read the book before, but it breaks down, there's high levels of consciousness, right? And there's low levels. A lot of us being low levels.
Start from the whole bottom. Just give them that perspective and then tell them, give two or three from the bottom.
Okay.
And then go straight to the top and give 2 or 3. Okay. And that's where people are at. So if you could mirror people in those levels, your whole life is easy.
So fear, let's just throw that out there. Fear, miserable or hopeless, condemning, vengeful. Mad people are vengeful nowadays. It's ridiculous. Those are all low level, right? Then there's some that like, it seems like you're in the middle, or it seems like you could transition from these. So affirmation, courage, feasible, permitting. But then high level, we have enlightenment, right? We have loving, we have merciful, we have acceptance, right? These are all high level consciousness, thoughts of consciousness, right? States of consciousness. And it just all goes into what we're talking about. Because if you mirror somebody You can tell if they're low level. How you say standards low or standards high?
Let me borrow the book so I can break something down. For example, right? Let's say a person, you see God view, map of consciousness, right? God view, live view, level, log, emotion, process.
Okay.
Let's say the lowest level, despising, miserable, shame. That's 20, the log, right? Humiliation. That's how you say?
Humiliation.
Humiliation, that's the emotion. And the process is elimination, right? That's the lowest.
Very low. That's very low.
That's very low. But notice the highest one, right? The map of consciousness, the God view is self. You're seeing yourself, right? Life view is life. It is what it is. You see? Now level is enlightenment, right? The log is 700 to 1,000. The emotion inevitable. And the process is pure consciousness.
And it's funny because look, if you are yourself, right?
Life view,
right? If you're yourself, it is what it is. How you say you are what you are, and you're enlightening people through being yourself, because it's the easiest way to influence someone. Be yourself. And then what's the last two it says?
Pure consciousness, the process.
Pure consciousness. So yeah. when I've learned in this journey, when you are yourself, naturally, don't try to be something else, don't try to copy. When you're yourself, it enlightens other people's, and then it's pure to yourself, if that makes sense. It just flows. There's no other feeling like it. It's like you feel free.
That's true. Like, for example, let's say you go, the way to approach things, to approach people, to mirror people, you got to first approach them by their emotions. So you first read the person, what emotion are they giving in? Are they giving blame, despair, regret, anxiety, craving, hate, scorn, affirmation, trust, optimism, forgiveness, understanding, reverence, serenity, bliss, or ineffable? So let's say, for example, a person is giving you hate, right?
Okay.
Now you go to God view. That person that gives hate, they're vengeful. But the light view, they look at it as antagonistic. But then the level, they have anger. Facts? And then their log is like a 150. If it makes sense.
Yeah.
Hate is the emotion, and then the process is aggression. You got it?
It makes sense. It goes across the board.
So that's all mirroring. So now you go mirror the person. Like, for example, as a leader, that I always been in a leader position all my life, I made sure that, let's say if I walk into a room, the first person I want to spot out is the rotten apple.
Yeah.
La manzana podrida. The minute I'm able to mirror the rotten apple, whatever energy they're giving, I want to not simply match it, but I want to make sure, because you got to look at it like a scale, una balanza. I don't do this to people, so they don't do this to me. But I have to make sure that whatever they give me, I go a little more up. So they could understand that straight up, I don't want to use that word, but I'm superior. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
So now I'm using spirituals, things.
And it's not that, so you guys don't get confused. It's not that he's superior in self. He's superior in the vibration that he's
in the vibration. Yes,
thank you for your vibration is always going to overflow their vibration.
Yes,
that's just what it is. So to wrap it up, so we could bring Jeandy on. What's a takeaway you want to give to the listeners about the power of mirroring? You hear me?
You got to know how to use it, because the thing is, you don't want to basically mirror a person and then. Remember, you argue with an idiot, they'll drag you to that level. So you got to have awareness. You get me? How mirroring works. Because the thing is, if you don't have the awareness, and then let's say you try to apply mirroring and you don't know how to use it, it could either make you or break you. I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So that's the only thing I tell people. You got to know how to use your human psychology, your human weapons. You got me? Because at the end of the day, I don't want to call life a jungle, because to me, life is easy and it's perfect. I don't look at life, from a fear zone. I look at it like, from a blessing others, from respect or fear none. I don't go on the street thinking something bad is going to happen. You get me? I feel like when you have God, you notice the thing, God view,
absolutely,
right? Self, and you understand that, you want the best for others. Now you have the spiritual in your side, like David and Goliath.
Okay.
Make sense?
Absolutely. And I want to thank you, Carlos, for your
No,
insight.
thank you for having me, bro. Appreciate you.
My brother.
Same.
And guys, let's think about it. Mirroring is something that you use as a tool to communicate. So when you want to communicate to someone and see like what it is, where they're at, you mirror, you reflect them the energy that they're giving you. And as long as you have a higher frequency energy, you're going to be able to influence the person, or as Carlo likes to do, push them away, right? Quality people only. And now, guys, we have with us Jeandy. So Jeandy, he's the host of Day One Podcast, right? Where he inspires individuals to shift their mindset from drifting through life to initiating meaningful change. He focuses on overcoming challenges, embracing leadership, and empowering others to make day one the start of transformation journey. His work resonates deeply with those striving for growth and purpose. And I'm one of those people because Jeandy leads by example. He turns the one day that he wants to do something into day one. And Jeandy, my brother, how you doing today?
Excelentemente bien. Thank you for having me, Manny.
Thank you for being here, brother.
Positivo, productivo, and intentional.
Okay. And the first question for you, my brother. So your podcast focuses on helping the people turn one day into day one. How do you see the concept of mirroring playing a role and helping someone begin the transformation journey?
Simple. Just if you guys watch that part of Carlos, I recommend y'all watch that whole thing. And what I got about it is you got to have an organized mind.
Yes.
Because if you don't have control of your mind, then you could lose yourself mirroring others into a point that you break the mirror.
Okay.
So I feel like having control of your mind is everything.
Okay. Having control of your mind so they can start the journey. Right?
Of course, of just becoming the best version, but also like the 12 laws of riches. He mentioned freedom from fear. You'd have control of your mind, then there's going to be moments and things that occur when you throw yourself into the ocean or to the fire and you fold under pressure.
Okay.
Because your mind.
It makes
Everything lands
sense.
in the mind.
It makes sense.
From my
And
perspective, of course.
when it comes to having people reflect that though, how do you use the mirroring? Because I think like you're a great communicator. I see you when I see you in action, bro, talking to people. I see how you can relate to them. I see how you can make them see from the question you ask them and the response they give you. I can see how you can reflect to them. Like, so how do you use that?
Like, hold on. You're not gonna get him misconfused. You're not gonna like. I consider my pops is too nice, but the old Jeandy, I was like, I wanted it my way. I wanted it my way so much. And it's like when I make my point across, you're not just gonna bypass what I said. I'm gonna hear you out, but you definitely gonna hear me out. And it's like I remember one time, bro, and that's when I said I will never join a gang. The streets is not for me. I remember one time my boy got jumped, and I was cool with him. He was like a brother of mine, and I showed up to school late, and then I was tight. I wanted to get my get back because I wasn't there to defend him.
Yeah.
So then after
That's that
school,
New York.
after school, we caught him. It was like 20, 30 deep, bro. Because all other people that was in the streets, they was cool with him. His cousins was in that. And it's crazy how he said it was like Dominicans versus Dominicans because the people, they was Dominicans. But it was like 3 schools in one building. And then they was in a grocery store hiding from us. And then they said, yo, bro, why are you here? Are you ready to stab somebody for this? Are you down for this? And I was like, if I'm angry, I'm with it. And then the guy said, all right, I'm gonna slap you 3 times so you could go and stab him. I was like, you slap me, I'm gonna fuck you up. I ain't gonna do nothing to them.
Yeah.
The anger is gonna be towards you. So then it was like, just like I said, having control of your mind. Because how I said, I could react off an emotion, but that wasn't me at my core.
That's deep. And that goes into the next question because how do you've connected with people from various backgrounds,
Of course,
right? And how do you connect through those people? Like, what's your approach of connecting with those people that come from these different environments, but without losing your authenticity?
I mean, just how Carlos said, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that book helped me a lot because I was one person that I was blind in my way. Instead of in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, how he said, think win-win, but it also said, seek to understand and then be understood.
Mm-hmm.
Like how he said, we understand them, but they don't understand us. So it's like just putting myself in them shoes and then try to bring them up to my level, but if they want to come to my level, then forget them. It's like I'm just wasting my time, my energy, and my most valuable thing, which is myself.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna lose myself.
Self is very important, bro.
Correct.
In your experience, how can leaders step into dark places and provide light without being consumed by the challenges around them?
What do you mean by dark places?
So like sometimes when you're communicating with certain people, they're being dark places, you know? And you as a leader, how do you go in there and shed light instead of being consumed by that dark place that they're in? You know, it's all like in the mentality, you know, because some people, we meet a lot of people like in the gym, right? And some people go to the gym and they're light in the gym, but some people go to the gym and they're darkness because they're going through something. They're over
Correct.
there, like, you know, trying
Correct.
to push out the pain, trying to push out the darkness. So when you do connect with people like that, how is it that you keep to yourself to not get consumed in that?
I mean, just seeking to understand. To be honest, like Eli, shout out to Eli. He went in the gym and he was like, a lot of people need therapy in there, and I felt
Mm,
that. But that
yeah,
is their therapy. That's the way of escaping everything that they're going through and just going to the court and taking it out there. So sometimes the game gets the best out of us, or something. We may bring trauma from something that we're going through, and we just express it there.
yeah,
But it could be damage not only for the person that we're coming across, but also for ourselves. Because most people don't think. That's why you got to have control of your mind, because if you don't have control of your mind, you could lose yourself, and you could not only hurt others, you're going to hurt yourself.
yeah.
So it's also just recognizing that people need to express themselves, but they don't have people to express themselves to. So how I said, my goal is to be the person I never had in my life. Like
That's deep.
I was forced into therapy. And most people think therapy is bad, but I feel like we all need therapy. And we all do use therapy in one form or another. We're just immune to it. We're blind to it.
Okay. That's powerful, man. Because let's say like for therapy, for example, you go in there and you're reflecting, and I think that that guy that what you call him, the psychologist or
Yeah,
whatever,
counselor, whatever. Yeah,
the counselor,
psychologist.
whatever, like they use mirroring a lot.
Mm,
They ask specific questions in
mm,
order to see where you at in the mental,
mm,
and then it's like so you could look at yourself in the mirror.
mm.
Oh, so you said this, and this. Maybe that's why you mad good at communicating, bro. And it's funny, you see how you was telling me about my glasses earlier? Like I literally came in here today, like, oh, we gonna talk about mirroring and like the conscious. Like I wanna look the bar. It's like the costume for
Man,
the
it's good. It's
episode
good.
today. Jeandy, can you share examples of how mirroring has helped you? Excuse me, how mirroring has helped, how you have you see, how you have used mirroring to help someone change their life, whether on the basketball court, in the street, or through the podcast.
I mean, all through and all, I'll use this phase in my life because I put myself in their shoes and how I overcame that problem. So I'm mirroring them, showing that I was once there, which I was, or
Okay.
even if I wasn't, just what I would do if I was in their shoes. So mirroring, like putting myself in their shoes and helping them get out of that hole. Like how Carlos said, it's all psychology. But you got to show them that you're one of them, that you also been there and you've done that and you overcame that. For me, it's just overcoming the challenge, the obstacle. Most people, they're just
Give me an example. Give me like maybe a recent scenario on the court.
recent scenario on the court. Shout out to my boy Day. Everybody know I don't call foul. I don't call foul. And then he grabbed me on one and I shot it and it was an and one. He was like, yo, bro, I scratched your face. I was like, yo, bro, I ain't call foul. And then on one with Kenny, he stepped on the line. He stepped on the line for a one. I wouldn't cheat. It's basketball.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, bro, where the moms I ain't step? But that was like, yo, that's the hood side. That's the hood side coming out of me. But it's like we were around all these people. If I come on lice and WW, they gonna get their way. So I gotta like how I'm not superior, but hold on. You ain't just gonna bully me like I'm a little bro or something. Like I'm a grown man. I
You
defend
mirror
myself.
the energy at that point.
Of course, but also come here. But that way when they come here, I'm gonna keep going higher. Certain situations.
No, I see how you move on the court, and I'm proud to say that you've been an example to me because you know I've gone at it with people, and it was something that I was trying to change. I'm not gonna say trying to, that I have changed, you know, and I think it's true when you see someone coming at you a certain way and you start mirroring that, and you be like, nah, I'm gonna go higher. I'm gonna go higher because it's not worth it at the end of the day.
Of
And how
course.
Carlos was saying, like those situations show people's integrity, show people's character. And sad to say, a lot of people are low vibrational when it comes to those areas, right? Um, what would you say to someone struggling to connect with others because they don't understand the importance of mirroring?
What would I say to someone struggling because they don't understand the importance of mirroring?
Well, struggling to connect with others because they don't understand them. So they don't understand the importance of how to reflect or how to like look at people from their point of view. Like, I think God gave us 2 ears for a reason and 1 mouth, right? And that's big on mirroring. So, like, how would you say someone that's struggling to connect and use mirroring to help them?
I mean, I'll say the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, like that's a book most people think like nobody's perfect. Most people don't even open up, or most people don't even want to hear it at all. Little do they know that the person you less think could change your life. That's why Carlos says something major, and it's true. Like you first build rapport with a person, and then you go down the way. But you can just see somebody and then just start blabbing and yapping.
Mm-hmm.
It's about building a connection. So make a connection and just go from there.
Okay. And so we could wrap it up. What's the takeaways you want to give listeners to have on the power of mirroring?
The power of mirroring is control the mind, and life is all psychology, but also like there's so many books when it comes to the topic. So really just educate yourself, because you could lose yourself in the mirror. If you don't have control of your mind, that's the biggest takeaway from this, is having control of your mind. Because life is psychology. But if your mind not intact, then your life is just gonna be a mess up and down, and then you're gonna go everywhere just breaking every mirror. And the only mirror you're gonna break is yourself.
You'll get consumed in that dark place, like I was saying.
1,000%.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want to thank you, Jeandy, for coming on to the podcast today. And to my audience, y'all already know y'all here for a reason, not for a season. So please click below and subscribe. Leave comments on what you guys think of the topic of today, the power of mirroring. And don't hesitate to also check out my brother Jeandy on Day One Podcast, right? And my brother Carlos on CMR Podcast Network. And thank you for joining.
But hold up. What was the takeaway that you took away from both segments? One from Carlos, and then the time you had.
You know what? That's a great question, because we kind of like brainstormed this episode together, and mirroring is something new to me, and it new to me in the term, because I've used mirroring in the past and I didn't know. But what I've taken away from it, especially now where I'm at in the journey now, is stay true to myself so I don't get lost in that mirror while I'm mirroring someone. I was very big on like trying to be accepted by other people, trying to please other people. But now when I use mirroring and I see what other people are like giving me, I know what to reject and I know what to accept. I know when to like be like, okay, we're good here. And when like, this isn't good, I got to go higher and keep it pushing. So that was a great question. Thank you for asking. And again, guys, please comment below, share, subscribe, and have a blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.